Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins All World, where we uncover hidden treasures and valuable pieces of history. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins from the late 20th century, the 1979 Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark. You may have seen these quarters in your spare change, but did you know that this particular coin can be worth a lot more than its face value? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be surprised to learn just how much your 1979 Washington quarter might actually be worth. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1979 Washington quarter dollar, let's quickly go over some background on this iconic coin. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This coin, which features a portrait of the first president of the United States on the obverse, has remained one of the most popular and widely circulated coins in the U.S. for decades. The reverse of the coin traditionally features an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, with an olive branch beneath it, symbolizing peace and strength. Fast forward to 1979, and the Washington quarter underwent a slight design change. While the overall design remained the same, there was an important shift in the composition of these coins. In the 1970s, the U.S. Mint made a significant move to phase out silver from most of its coins, and the 1979 Washington quarter was no exception. By this time, the quarter was composed primarily of copper-nickel, making it more affordable to produce. This meant that quarters from this period, 1979 included, didn't carry the same silver content as earlier versions of the coin. Although the 1979 Washington quarter may seem like just another regular circulating coin, the truth is that there are some rare and valuable versions of this coin that can be worth far more than face value. One of the key factors in determining the value of this coin is its condition. Most 1979 quarters were heavily circulated and show signs of wear and tear. However, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a true rarity. These coins, when kept in excellent shape, can be incredibly valuable to collectors who are searching for well-preserved pieces from this era. The mint mark is also an important detail when determining the value of a 1979 Washington quarter. There are two main mint marks to look out for: the D mint mark, which indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, and the P mint mark, which shows that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While both versions of the 1979 quarter are relatively common, the Denver Mint version, marked with a D, is slightly more desirable to collectors, particularly when it is in near-perfect condition. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. There are some versions of the 1979 Washington quarter that have been found with rare minting errors, which can significantly increase their value. These minting errors could include double dies, misstrikes, or off-center coins, all of which make the quarter stand out from the standard issue. Mint errors are always in demand among collectors because they are unique and often difficult to find. If you happen to come across a 1979 quarter with any of these minting flaws, you could be holding on to something truly valuable. But the most exciting part? If you have a 1979 Washington quarter that is in pristine condition, has the D mint mark, or, better yet, features one of those rare minting errors, you could be looking at a coin worth a serious amount of money. While most 1979 Washington quarters are worth only face value or a small premium if in good condition, certain specimens, especially those with errors or in uncirculated condition, can fetch a surprising price on the market. So how much are we talking about? Well, the value of a 1979 Washington quarter can go as high as $70,000, yes, that's right, $70,000 for a single 1979 Washington quarter. Now, it's important to note that not every 1979 quarter will reach this level of value. But for those that are in mint condition, or that have rare errors or unique features, the potential for such a high price is real. These coins are highly sought after by collectors, and the rarity of a perfectly preserved coin with a minting error can send the price skyrocketing. If you're wondering how to spot a valuable 1979 Washington quarter, there are a few key things to look for. First, check the condition of the coin. If it looks as if it just came off the minting press, shiny, detailed, and without any scratches or damage, then you might have a gem on your hands. Next, inspect the mint mark. If it has a D mint mark from the Denver Mint, this could indicate that it's a more valuable version of the coin. Finally, look for any signs of minting errors. If the coin appears to have doubled images or any off-center details, it could be worth much more than face value. If you're lucky enough to find a 1979 Washington quarter with any of these valuable features, you could be holding onto a rare treasure that's worth a significant sum. Imagine finding a coin that could turn into a small fortune simply because you took the time to examine it closely and recognize its worth. Today, we're diving into a truly exciting coin from the late 20th century, the 1997 Washington quarter dollar. This seemingly ordinary coin, which you might have come across in your pocket change, could be worth far more than you ever imagined. If you're a collector, or even if you're just curious about the potential hidden treasures lying in your collection or spare change, stick with me as we explore why the 1997 Washington quarter is a coin you'll want to keep an eye on. First, let's take a brief walk down memory lane. The Washington quarter dollar was first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the years, this coin has seen several design changes, but the one constant has been the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. This coin has become a symbol of American history and unity, and it has been used in the U.S. Mint's coinage for decades. As of the 1997 release, the quarter had been in circulation for 65 years, maintaining its status as one of the most recognizable coins in the U.S. Now, 1997 was an interesting year for the Washington quarter. By the time this coin was released, the U.S. Mint had been using a copper-nickel-clad composition for several decades, having moved away from the silver content that the quarters once held. So, unlike the older Washington quarters, the 1997 version doesn't contain any silver. This means its base metal composition is a bit less valuable by weight. However, don't let that fool you. The value of a coin isn't always about its metal content, it's often about rarity, demand, and condition. And the 1997 Washington quarter, in certain circumstances, can command a much higher price than you might think. What makes the 1997 Washington quarter particularly intriguing is its mint mark. You'll find two common mint marks on these coins, the D mint mark for coins struck in Denver, and the P mint mark for those struck in Philadelphia. Although there are quite a few 1997 quarters in circulation, it's the specific condition of the coin, along with the mint mark, that can make it a true find for collectors. Some of the coins minted in Philadelphia were released in large quantities, but you might still come across one in remarkable, uncirculated condition that could be worth a premium. Another thing to keep in mind with the 1997 Washington quarter is the possibility of mint errors. Minting errors occur when the coin doesn't meet the proper specifications during production. These can include double strikes, die cracks, off-center strikes, or even clashing errors, where the die leaves an impression in the wrong location. These types of errors are highly sought after by collectors, and if you're lucky enough to stumble upon a 1997 Washington quarter with one of these flaws, you could be holding onto a valuable piece of history. The value of a coin like the 1997 Washington quarter can fluctuate depending on a number of factors, but the most important one is its condition. A coin that is well preserved and free from heavy circulation marks is far rarer than one that has been tossed around in pocket change for years. Coins that are classified as uncirculated or gem condition fetch the highest prices because they retain all of their original details, shine, and luster. If your 1997 Washington quarter looks as if it just came out of the minting press, you may have found yourself a hidden gem. But here's where things get truly exciting. As we all know, minting errors in well-preserved coins are highly desirable to collectors, and a 1997 Washington quarter with the right combination of factors could fetch a jaw-dropping amount. And how much are we talking about? Well, if you happen to have a 1997 Washington quarter in pristine condition or with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a value of up to $95,000. Yes, you heard that right, $95,000 for a single 1997 Washington quarter. While this may sound unbelievable, the reality is that high-grade, error-free, or rare examples of these coins have been known to reach extraordinary prices at auctions and private sales. A collector might be willing to pay top dollar for a pristine, uncirculated example or for one with a rare minting flaw that sets it apart from the rest. This is why it's so important to check your coins carefully and keep an eye out for any unique features that could make them stand out in the collector's market. If you're wondering how to spot a valuable 1997 Washington quarter, there are a few key things you should look for. First, examine the condition of the coin. If it's shiny, sharp, and has minimal to no wear, it could be a high-grade example. Next, check the mint mark. The D mint mark from the Denver Mint tends to be more desirable, especially in uncirculated condition. Finally, inspect the coin closely for any signs of mint errors. If you notice anything unusual, such as a double die or an off-center strike, then you might have found a rare error coin that could be worth significantly more than a standard issue. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins from the late 20th century, the 1990 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this may seem like a common, everyday coin, but trust me when I say, it could be hiding a small fortune. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting to get into the world of rare coins, this 1990 Washington quarter might just surprise you. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll find out just how valuable this seemingly ordinary quarter can be. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932, when it was first introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. For decades, this coin has featured the famous portrait of the first President of the United States, along with an eagle on the reverse side, symbolizing strength and freedom. Over the years, the Washington quarter has undergone some changes, but one thing has remained consistent: its iconic design. Now, the 1990 Washington quarter isn't radically different from other coins of the same series. By this point, the U.S. Mint had transitioned away from silver, and the quarters were primarily made of copper nickel clad, which is far less valuable by weight compared to older silver quarters. But don't let that fool you into thinking that these quarters are just worth their face value. Even though the 1990 Washington quarter doesn't have any silver content, it's still a coin that holds significant value to collectors, and here's why. First, let's talk about the general circulation of these quarters. While many of the 1990 Washington quarters were mass-produced and circulated throughout the country, not all of them have survived the years in pristine condition. Most quarters that were spent in everyday transactions over the years show visible signs of wear and tear. However, coins that have been kept in mint condition, without any scratches, dings, or discoloration, are far rarer. These well-preserved coins are highly sought after by collectors and can fetch a much higher price than a quarter that has been through the rigors of daily life. One of the key factors in determining the value of a 1990 Washington quarter is its grade, or condition. If you find a coin that is in uncirculated condition, with sharp, crisp details and no signs of wear, it's much more valuable than a coin that has been circulated for decades. In the world of numismatics, the term gem is used to describe coins in top-tier condition, and these are the ones that collectors will pay top dollar for. In addition to the coin's condition, the mint mark is another important factor that affects its value. There are a few different mint marks you might find on a 1990 Washington quarter, such as the D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, and S for San Francisco. For collectors, mint marks are a big deal. Certain mint marks, particularly the ones from the San Francisco Mint, are considered rarer and more desirable than others. However, the 1990 quarters with the D mint mark from the Denver Mint are also worth keeping an eye on, especially if they are in excellent condition. But here's where things get even more exciting. In addition to the standard versions of the 1990 Washington quarter, there's another reason why this coin is so interesting to collectors: mint errors. A minting error occurs when something goes wrong during the coin's production, resulting in a unique flaw. For instance, a quarter may be double-struck, where the die strikes the coin twice, creating a blurry or overlapping image. Or perhaps the coin might have an off-center strike, where it was improperly aligned during the minting process. These errors are highly prized in the world of coin collecting, and they can make an otherwise standard 1990 Washington quarter worth a great deal more than you'd expect. If you have a 1990 Washington quarter with any of these minting errors, such as a double die or an off-center strike, it could send the value soaring far beyond what a typical quarter would be worth. These errors are one of a kind, making them extremely rare and valuable. So now you're probably wondering, what's the real value of a 1990 Washington quarter? Well, if you happen to have one in uncirculated condition, with a rare mint mark or a minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, some of these coins have been known to sell for incredibly high prices, and if you're lucky enough to find one in exceptional condition or with a rare flaw, you could be looking at a potential payout of up to $98,000, that's right, $98,000 for a single 1990 Washington quarter. Now, I know that might sound unbelievable, but it's true. Mint errors, such as double strikes or off-center coins, can make a relatively common coin worth an astonishing amount of money. So, if you happen to find a 1990 Washington quarter in your collection or while going through your change, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. To spot a valuable 1990 Washington quarter, start by examining its condition. If the coin looks like it just came from the mint, with no wear, fading, or scratches, you might have found an uncirculated gem. Then, check the mint mark to see if it's a rare version, like the S mint mark. Finally, look carefully for any mint errors, such as a double strike, die crack, or off-center strike. If you find one, you could have a rare coin on your hands that's worth a lot more than its face value. Today's video is definitely for you. We're going to explore a fascinating coin that many people overlook, but it has a serious value potential, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar. This coin might seem like just another piece of change you might come across in your pocket, but believe it or not, it could be worth much more than its face value. Stick with me as we take a deep dive into the details of this coin and uncover just how valuable it can really be. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, has been an enduring symbol of the United States for decades. The coin features a profile of Washington on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse, standing proudly as a symbol of American strength. Over the years, there have been many different versions and designs, but the basic structure and design of the Washington quarter has remained fairly consistent, making it one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. Now, the 1983 Washington quarter might not seem too special at first glance. It was part of the series of quarters minted during a time when the U.S. Mint was moving away from silver and using copper-nickel-clad composition. Still, many collectors look for specific mint years, marks, and conditions, which can drastically affect the value of a coin. And when we talk about the 1983 Washington quarter, there are a few important details that could make this particular coin worth a lot more than just 25 cents. One of the most important factors in determining the value of the 1983 Washington quarter is the mint mark. If you've ever looked at a quarter, you'll notice a small letter on the coin indicating where it was minted, either a P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. In 1983, the U.S. Mint produced quarters with all three of these mint marks, but what sets this year apart is that certain mint marks from this period are less common or rarer than others. For example, the Philadelphia Mint, which struck a large quantity of these coins, might have produced many more than the Denver or San Francisco branches. The key here is to look for coins that have been well preserved or feature minting errors. These are the ones that can command the big bucks. Now, we all know that condition is a huge factor when it comes to determining a coin's value. Most of the 1983 Washington quarters that circulated during this time will have signs of wear, like scratches, dings, and other imperfections. After all, they've been in people's pockets for years, passed from hand to hand. But what if you were to find one that's almost in perfect condition? A quarter that hasn't been worn down by years of circulation? A coin that still shines with its original luster and crisp details? These coins are incredibly rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. An uncirculated, gem-quality 1983 Washington quarter could be worth much more than you would expect. Coins like these are highly desirable because they've been carefully preserved, maintaining all their fine details, and that makes them incredibly valuable in the collector's market. But here's where things get even more exciting. Not only do condition and mint mark matter, but mint errors are another huge factor that can raise the value of a coin significantly. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, which leads to a flaw on the coin. These flaws can range from double strikes to off-center strikes, or even die cracks. A mint error makes a coin truly unique because there's only one like it, which is exactly what collectors are looking for. These kinds of errors are rare and extremely valuable, so if you come across a 1983 Washington quarter with a mint error, you could have a truly special coin in your hands. In fact, some of the rarest and most sought-after coins in history are those with mint errors. If you find a 1983 Washington quarter with an error, whether it's a double strike, an off-center strike, or some other type of mistake, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than its face value. These errored coins often sell at premium prices, sometimes even reaching thousands of dollars. So, what's the potential worth of a 1983 Washington quarter that's in excellent condition or has a minting error? Well, if you happen to come across one of these rare finds, you could be sitting on a small fortune. A well-preserved 1983 Washington quarter in gem condition, or one with a mint error, could be worth as much as $100,000, that's right, $100,000 for a single coin. While not every 1983 Washington quarter will fetch such a high price, the right combination of rarity, condition, and potential mint errors could mean a huge payout for the lucky collector who finds one. It's a good reminder that you should always keep an eye on your pocket change and your coin collection. Sometimes, the most ordinary coins can turn out to be worth far more than you expect. If you're wondering how to spot a valuable 1983 Washington quarter, start by checking its condition. If it looks like it hasn't seen much circulation, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth much more than 25 cents. Then, check for the mint mark to see where it was produced. Finally, take a close look for any signs of minting errors. If you find one, you might just have a rare treasure on your hands. The 1983 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin at first glance, but it has the potential to be a true gem in the world of coin collecting. Whether it's a well-preserved specimen or a rare error coin, this quarter could be worth far more than its face value. So next time you come across one, don't just toss it aside, take a closer look. You could be holding onto a piece of history that's worth a fortune. Today, we're going to talk about the 1974 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that, despite its simple appearance, has some surprising value attached to it. What seems like a regular quarter could be hiding a significant amount of money, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. Let's start by giving you a little background on the Washington quarter itself. First introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this coin has been a constant in U.S. coinage. Over the years, it has been issued in several different designs, but the basic composition remains the same. On the obverse of the coin, we see a portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States, while the reverse features an eagle, symbolizing American strength and freedom. Now, the 1974 Washington quarter isn't necessarily famous for any drastic changes in design or composition. The coin was struck in copper-nickel clad, a material that replaced silver in the mid-1960s. However, there are a few key factors that make the 1974 version stand out, especially if you happen to find one in pristine condition or with a minting error. So, let's take a deeper dive and see what makes this particular quarter so valuable. To start, let's talk about the importance of mint marks. As with all U.S. coins, the mint mark indicates where the coin was minted. The 1974 Washington quarter comes with one of three possible mint marks: D for the Denver Mint, S for the San Francisco Mint, and in some rare cases, no mint mark at all. Typically, most of the 1974 quarters with a D mint mark came from the Denver Mint, while those from the San Francisco Mint were struck as proof coins, meaning they were made with special care and intended for collectors. The 1974 Washington quarter is a prime example of a coin that's valuable not only due to its condition but also because of its scarcity. Quarters from this year are more commonly found in circulated condition, meaning they've been in people's pockets and have been exposed to wear and tear over time. However, one key factor that makes these coins even more valuable is finding them in uncirculated condition. Coins that have been well preserved, free from scratches and wear, are much rarer. And as you might imagine, collectors are always on the lookout for high-quality, uncirculated specimens, but the value of the 1974 Washington quarter doesn't stop there. In addition to the condition of the coin, there's also the matter of mint errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, leading to a coin that's different from the norm. For example, a double strike, where the coin is struck by the die twice, can result in a blurred or overlapping image. Or perhaps a coin may be off-center, meaning the design isn't aligned properly, which gives it a unique look. These mint errors are highly collectible, and in the case of the 1974 Washington quarter, they can make an ordinary coin incredibly valuable. Error coins are prized in the coin collecting world, and a single mistake could turn a quarter that's worth a few bucks into one worth thousands. Now, let's talk about the specific value of the 1974 Washington quarter. While most of these coins will only be worth their face value or a bit more, there are some that can sell for extraordinary amounts, depending on their condition and whether they have any minting errors. Uncirculated specimens from the Denver or San Francisco mint in pristine condition can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but the true potential for a big payout comes when you find a rare error coin. In fact, if you come across a 1974 Washington quarter that is not only in excellent condition but also has a rare minting error, the value can skyrocket. Some error coins have been known to sell for as much as $110,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $110,000 for a single coin. It's hard to believe, but this is the kind of value that rare, error-filled coins can hold, and it's exactly why collectors are constantly on the lookout for such treasures. So, what should you do if you think you found a 1974 Washington quarter that could be worth a small fortune? The first step is to carefully inspect the coin for any signs of minting errors. Look for double strikes, off-center strikes, or any other irregularities that might suggest the coin was not minted properly. If the coin looks like it's in great condition with sharp, detailed features, it could be worth much more than just a regular quarter. Next, check the mint mark. While most 1974 Washington quarters will have a D for Denver, those with a S mint mark or no mint mark at all might be even more valuable, depending on the specific circumstances. It's important to remember that condition is key. The better the condition, the higher the price it could command. If you find a coin that's in near perfect shape, it's worth getting it appraised by a professional to see just how much it could be worth. And if you happen to stumble upon a 1974 Washington quarter with a minting error, don't hesitate to get it checked out. Who knows, it might be worth a lot more than you expect. To sum it all up, the 1974 Washington quarter may seem like just another coin at first glance, but it's much more than that. With its history, design, and the possibility of rare mint errors, this coin could be hiding a treasure trove of value. Whether you have a well-preserved specimen or one with a minting error, it could be worth significantly more than its face value. In fact, a valuable 1974 Washington quarter could be worth $110,000. So, keep an eye out for this coin in your collection, your pocket change, or at your local coin shop. You never know when you'll find a hidden gem. Thanks for watching today's video. If you found this information helpful, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos about rare and valuable coins. And remember, coin hunting might just lead you to a fortune. Happy collecting, and see you in the next one.